The mission of Gnosticism in this age is to deliver the method and means for the work of the realization of the inner man in each one of us. The attainment of this transcendental objective depends on our cooperation with the being. The divorce between science and art, philosophy and mysticism has provoked the deterioration of this generation. We don't appreciate the poetry of nature, the harmony that emanates from the universe, and so human relations have become cold. Our heart is unmoved by human suffering. The Gnostic teachings are based on the communion between science, art, philosophy, and mysticism. They seek to rescue the highest values of the human being in order to be able to comprehend that life is empty without the pursuit of transcendence and the self-realization of the being. This would not be possible without the development of superior emotion, which humanizes science, sublimates art, elevates philosophy, and crystallizes mysticism. Gnosis is the poetry of understanding, the rose of philosophy, the light of science, and the mystical eternal spring. The method of Gnostic science is experimentation or objective knowledge of things. The object of study is the universe and all that exists, utilizing scientific meditation and other vehicles for experimentation and direct observation of the object of study. Gnosis studies things in themselves, beyond their three-dimensional aspect. It studies Hermetic or Gnostic anthropology, which is completely different from official, materialistic, and evolutionist anthropology. Gnostic science studies cosmogenesis and objectively knows the origin of planets, suns, and universes, and in particular, the Or's solar system, in which we live and have our being. It studies the human machine and the conditions of its 5 centers: intellect, emotion, movement, instinct, and sex. It studies endocrinology and medicine, the cause of disease and their cures. Everything passes through the crucible of Gnosis. The objective of art is the pursuit of beauty in its different manifestations. Art is the faithful testimony of that great human work that we call culture. Gnosis is present in all the great works of universal literature and in the works of the geniuses of music, painting, sculpture, and architecture. We find Gnostic art in ancient settlements, in the pyramids and ancient obelisks of Pharaonic Egypt, in ancient Mexico, among the Mayans, and the archaeological remains of the Aztecs, Zapotecs, Toltecs, etc. Amid the ancient medieval parchments of the Chinese, Phoenicians, Assyrians, etc., in the hieroglyphs and bas-reliefs of ancient cultures, in the painting and sculpture of the Renaissance, in the music of Beethoven, Mozart, Liszt, Wagner, in the great works of universal literature, in the Iliad and the Odyssey of Homer, in Dante's Divine Comedy, and in many others, which contain the same principles of universal wisdom presented in diverse forms and sometimes hidden behind the veil of philosophical symbolism. There are 2 types of art. The first is subjective art, the expression of a conditioned consciousness. The second is the regal, royal art of nature, a transcendental art that reflects the wisdom of the universe. Without art as a testimony, the philosophy, science, and mysticism of our ancestors would not have been able to reach us. Gnosis removes the symbolic veil with which they are covered, revealing to us the cosmic truth that brings us face to face with our destiny. We must make a clear distinction between religious forms and religious principles. Religious principles are living cosmic formulas, and religious forms are the diverse systems or ways of teaching these principles. Gnosis studies the science of religions and attempts to reach the religious depths of ancient cultures. It seeks the connection of the soul with the real inner being, the divinity that exists in each human. This involves great efforts in trying to eliminate the eye of experimental psychology. Only then is this inner connection spoken of by the ancient sages possible. Gnostic religiousness is totally scientific, highly philosophical, and profoundly artistic. It pursues wisdom, the divine within us. If we do not discover God in us, we will not find him anywhere else. This is self-gnosis, the knowledge of oneself, which ultimately is the knowledge of God. Philosophy, in spite of its divisions, logic, ethics, aesthetics, etc., is, in and of itself, evident reflection, mystical knowledge of the being, and a conscious functionalism of the awakened consciousness. Philosophy is love for wisdom. Its method is introspection, which leads to the direct experience of truth. Philosophy must answer the great questions of existence. Who am I? Where do I come from? Where am I going? In reality, Gnosis as philosophy is a function of the consciousness, and as such, it arises in every place on the earth. Gnostic philosophy is expressed in the Vedas of India, in the prophecies of the Hebrew people, in the Tao Te Ching, and in the Platonic dialogues, in the theology of the Gospel of St. John, and in the Mahayana, in Plotinus, and the Areopagite, among the Persian Sufis, and the Christian mystics of the Middle Ages and the Renaissance. The perennial philosophy has spoken almost all the languages of Asia and Europe, and has used the most important terminologies and traditions in order to always be present in all the religions and philosophies of the earth. Anthropology is, in the modern age, the best means to study humankind and our origins, what we are in ourselves, and the imprints we have left through culture. Anthropology has two fields of investigation. One that inquires about the origins of life through its theories of evolution, the laws of heredity, the scale of geological time, and through the human races, and is called physical anthropology. The second field deals with man, the prehistoric culture of the Old and New World, family, society, religion, magic, art, and language, and is known by the name of cultural anthropology. We also find a great variety of auxiliary branches that complement the previous ones. Anthropology, being subject to the observations and alterations of the experimental sciences, has given rise over time to diverse types of anthropology, which oftentimes contradict each other. This whole long process of the study of humanity and their origins is ultimately the study of humankind according to man. Its results will always be contradictory and diverse, and will never be able to arrive at a definitive conclusion. In trying to arrive at a complete knowledge of the object of study, humankind, we depend on an instrument that is unknown to itself. If we want concrete and definitive answers about the origin of life, humanity, the races, and the meaning of existence, we need a distinct study. To study humanity from the perspective of the consciousness, which is the study of oneself. And this will permit us to know at the same time the origin of life and the universe. Humanity is consubstantial with the universe. One is contained in the other. This axiom is and always will be the basis of philosophy. Why should it be different for science? All the more reason why science should change its methods now that it faces a new challenge. To know the universe of the infinitely small, which is to say, the return to the inner universe. The new anthropology is the study of the human being through himself, utilizing the faculties of the consciousness that lie dormant, awaiting the moment to be awakened. Thanks to Gnostic anthropology, we can know the archetypes of different civilizations in order to arrive at the original source of knowledge, common to all ethnic groups, and to the relationship of this wisdom with humanity and the cosmos. This is the specific objective that the new Gnostic society Samael Aun Weor proposes, to teach the appropriate didactics and dialectics for the study of humankind and our environment.